Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed. I got my buddy Coop from the Beefer here with me again, and we did steak last time, but now you're gonna show me how to pretty much prepare a whole meal on the Beefer, right? I see you got some beautiful salmon, some veg, some mushrooms, you gotta have some bourbon to go with it. Man, what are we doing?
So we want to show some salmon, and then we thought while we were cooking the salmon, we would also put together the sides that are gonna cook concurrently, and just show you that you can prepare an entire meal on the Beefer.
Let's clear this out and get to cooking. So Chef, what are we doing to this salmon first?
I always like to put it in a brine before we cook it in the Beefer. You know, cooking at that high temp, again, we're not going to be able to pre-season it before we cook it. But anytime you can inject some salty, sweety, bourbony flavor on the front end, that's really going to come out nice on the back end.
It's getting down into the fish.
It's going to absorb into it, and you don't have to worry about any of those flavors burning. So we like to go with a very simple brine. It's a dry brine. So we'll start with, again, some of our Mediterranean smoked sea salt. So we're going to follow that up with some brown sugar. Notice I'm not really measuring, but I'm going to probably a half part salt to 1 part brown sugar. Then we're going to repeat on the other side.
Would you want the skin on, or does it matter?
I think it does better without the skin, because we're going to go through a flipping process like we did with the steak.
Okay, sear both sides, okay.
We're going to do both sides now. All right, so we've got the dry ingredients on. We're just going to pop that into a Ziploc bag. Anything left in the plate, we will add.
All that sugar is going to melt. It's going to start when you mix that bourbon with it.
Yeah, by the time we get to it, it's going to liquefy. We're just going to start that process of getting into the cell structure of the fish. So just a splash of bourbon. You don't want to go too heavy here.
Just a good shot, huh?
And then seal that up. Get as much of the air out as you can. You know, a couple hours is going to give you a good depth of flavor. It's also going to start to firm the fish up, though. You could take it overnight if you want to, if you want more intense flavor or a firmer fish. What we've done today is just gone a couple hours. The color changes a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of brighter. Yeah, it's got that deepness to it, but it's got a bright orange too. It looks good.
You know, it's firmed up some. When I took these out of the bag, I just gave them a quick rinse in cold water and then patted them dry.
So can you smell? You mind if I pick them up?
Please, yeah.
Let's see. You can smell a little bit of the bourbon, but it's got kind of a little sweet, little saltiness smell. I mean, it smells really good.
Well, before we get the salmon on, we want to start on our sides. And again, we're going to cook this in conjunction with the salmon on our larger Beefer unit. We've got some fresh asparagus. We have taken off the woody ends of it. To that, we're going to add some fresh mushrooms, some red onions, and also some fresh garlic.
And you just slice the garlic up, right?
Just sliced up. Season it with a little of the smoked salt. And then we've got some knobs of butter. And while the salmon is cooking up top, this will be at the bottom of the unit, a little lower heat. And it's just a matter of stirring this around and keeping it moving while our protein cooks. And
so that's easy.
it's easy, it's there. It's gonna catch any of the juices again from the salmon that drip into this. And it's gonna make a very nice side at the very end. And it should all come together pretty much at the same time. So we're gonna get our vegetables in first, and they're gonna go right in the very bottom of the unit. Still quite a bit of heat there, but not anything like we're getting from the very top. But we'll just let that hang out as we're cooking.
So Coop, you gave those vegetables about a 5-minute head start, and you just kind of been stirring them around a little bit, moving them, and man, it smells fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. It's smelling good, they're looking good. The asparagus is getting nice and bright green color. We've got the fillets prepped and ready to go. Put a little bit of oil on this tray just so they don't stick. Since we've got 2 burners, we're gonna go on either side. A little different process than we did with the steak. I don't wanna do an initial sear on these. We're gonna focus on a final sear, and we're actually gonna start cooking these at a little bit lower level. It's not a super thick piece, and it's a lot more delicate, so we don't have to get exactly under the burner to start with.
So you're saying about two or 3 inches, something like that, looks like?
2 or 3 inches, depends on the thickness. If it was thicker, I'd go even lower. If it was thinner, you could go higher. And you just got to keep an eye on it.
It's been, what, 60 seconds tops?
About, I haven't been counting in my head, but I'd say a good minute. And it is time to flip.
Check that out. That is gorgeous salmon right there.
Malcolm, you'd asked me, you know, are these going to break apart when I flip them? With these Beefer tweezers, you know, they're specifically designed so you can get way underneath your meat through the grooves on the grate. And there you go. So we're gonna go the same amount on the other side.
Vegetables are just rocking away.
They could use a quick stir.
Now you're a little bit higher on that side, but that's just to finish up.
I'm gonna flip these one more time. So I want that final sear on the front part. So I did the back side of them a little bit higher, and then we're gonna completely finish this with the top sear. All right, I'd say another 20 seconds and we'll be ready. For this final step, I'm
really
going
high.
Very high. I want that high heat right next to the flesh. And this is going to give us our final sear. And we're good.
All right, Coop, so we got the salmon on the board, the vegetables ready. How are we going to plate this up, man? When are we going to get to try it?
All right, well, we're almost there. Vegetables are done. Just going to kind of dress the fish with some of this asparagus, some of these good mushrooms, red onions,
The
a little
garlic.
bit of garlic.
That looks so good, man. The green pops with that fish. You know, it's healthy for us, right? It can't all be red meat, man. My heart doctor says I got to work in some fish. I think I can handle it with bourbon. What do you think?
Finish it with a little bit of lemon, which can go on both for sure.
Vegetables and the fish, just fresh lemon, I like it. Then you said you wanted some herbs and some pepper, right? So
I appreciate the dill, just a sprinkle of that, and some cracked black pepper all over. And that's pretty much it.
all right, Coop, I got us some forks. You ready to try this, man?
I sure am.
I can't wait. I want to go in. I mean, check how this salmon just flakes right there. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but I wanted to cut it up. Here, I'm going fish first, man. I'll try the vegetables last. Man, I get some of the sweetness from the bourbon, but it's not, you'd never know it was bourbon. The fish is delicate. It's juicy. It's cooked perfect. Crusty on top. You get a little crunch, but when you get down in it, you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but see how moist that salmon is right on the inside. I mean, it is cooked absolutely perfect. It just flakes apart. And I love the crust.
Probably about a 2-minute cook time.
Wow.
So it goes pretty quick. If you have several pieces, you can certainly feed a crowd quickly.
So yeah, I mean, you talk about dinner for a family in what, less than 10 minutes, the whole thing. I mean, we did a little bit of prep and you got to brine the fish, but the cook part, you fire that beefer up, it's hot in 5 minutes and then you're cooking, it's no time. That asparagus is cooked just perfect. Still got a crunch to it.
Fantastic, fantastic.
It's not mushy, but the onions, let me say the garlic. There's a piece of garlic and mushroom. And I'm trying to get it all in one bite. There we go. Wow. You could get kids to eat that vegetable. It has, I mean, it's got some great, and that butter, the garlic, the smoked salt, all that goes so perfect, and it was easy. Man, I appreciate you coming out, sharing these recipes with me. I'm gonna get one more bite of salmon before I turn off.
I'll join you.
Tell you what, that, my friend, may be the best piece of salmon I've ever ate.
Well, thank you.
And I'm not just a big fish guy. That, and it came from Kroger. It didn't come anywhere special. It is fantastic. That is good. I'm gonna have to high five you on that one, brother. Thanks for checking us out here at How to Barbecue Right. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to our channel. You know we're gonna be putting out videos all year long. I'm sure I'll be using these beefers for something else. I've already got some ideas ticking away in my head, man. And you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We'll see y'all next time.